Well, good morning. It's Monday, May 12th, and this is your weekly Fusion video update blog. And just a few things to kind of get rolling with. A lot of stuff going on that I need to let you know about as we kind of move forward toward camp, and we have a mission trip in the summer and toward the end of the school year and all kinds of stuff like that. So here are a few things to think about. First of all, we have camp coming up, and we are going to this week be sending out a mailing that is going to include 2 pieces of paper for you. Everyone who's signed up for camp will get this. It's going to have a kind of an invoice or a balance sheet, and it's going to tell you where your balance sits. If it's 0, then you can throw a party, and if it's not, then you have a check to write. So hopefully you can get that taken care of. The other piece of paper inside of that mailing will be a medical form, and that medical form is something that needs to be either turned in pretty much before camp or when you show up at camp. There's no rush on it, but if you drop your student off at camp and they don't have that, we're going to have to call and make sure that we have that in case something should happen. Hopefully it won't. So those are the 2 pieces of paper you'll have in that. Also, speaking of camp and balances, we have a fundraiser that just ended this past week, the Little Caesars Pizza Kit sale. And the pickup is going to be today. Actually, in a few hours it's going to start. Pickup will be from 12 noon to 8 p.m. in the North Atrium. The North Atrium is like the main entrance of the Perrysburg campus, and the reason we're doing that is because there's stuff going on in the South Atrium. So make sure not to go to the South Atrium, but the North Atrium. For those of you who sold pizza kits, you're probably getting a reminder call actually as we speak. So that should be all set. When you get your pizza kit, you need to pick up your order form, and then that will have all of the people that you sold to, and you're going to need to deliver those back to your customers, and hopefully that takes care of it. One more thing about camp, it's only 5 weeks away. It's June 16th through the 20th, and the balance is going to be due on June 1st. That'll be on the invoice like I talked about earlier. So just keep that in mind. That date's coming up. Next thing is McDowell, West Virginia, and we've been talking about this for a few weeks, and I just wanted to kind of hit on that again one more time. We passed out information this past week to students, and we're going to have an informational meeting about that this upcoming weekend. And this upcoming weekend, it's going to be during the 5:15 service and the 10:45 service in the conference room upstairs at the Perrysburg campus. It's easy to get to, and I'll be there kind of directing traffic and that sort of thing. Also, in the email that I send out every week, I'm going to attach a PDF file. It's just like the cover letter of the information packet. So it gives you dates to keep in mind for. It has the price and just some information about McDowell on that. So be sure to check that out. And then also, could you all do me a favor? If you're interested in going to the McDowell trip, go ahead and just reply back to that email. Just email me and say, I'm interested in getting some information for my child about camp. And maybe some parents are even interested in going. McDowell Mission, it's a pretty cool ministry down there in West Virginia that we're involved with, and I'm excited about getting a chance to go. Again, we have about 10 to 12 students already signed up and interested, and we're only going to be able to take about 10 to 12 more. So if you are interested or want some information on that, you might want to definitely try to hurry up, because that's going to be important to get that going. So that meeting is this weekend during the 5:15 and the 10:45 service. Again, it's on that piece of paper that I'm going to include in the email. Also, speaking of this weekend, Patrick Henry Hughes is coming this weekend. I'm sure you've all heard about that. And I told all the students this past weekend, but I want to let you know as well, in case they didn't go down and talk to you about it. Fusion will not be happening this weekend. We're actually going to go into the main auditorium. And, well, actually not in the main auditorium, but you're going to all be sitting together with parents with their students this weekend. But here's the question I have and the favor I have to ask you. If you could all do me a favor, if you're watching this video blog, you're probably really involved in Fusion. Your child has probably been involved in Fusion for a year or 2, or you're at least taking the time. You're in some way committed to Fusion or Cedar Creek Church, and I just want to ask you to do me a favor. Will you please consider sitting in the chapel this weekend? And also do me another favor. Don't go to the 5:15 or the 10:45 service on Saturday and Sunday, because those are going to be the services that are just absolutely packed. There are going to be hundreds and maybe even thousands of people coming to this church for the first time this weekend. And I think a great way for you to serve this church this weekend is to not sit in the main auditorium. Because when someone comes for the first time, they want to go into the main auditorium and see it. I mean, they've never been there for the first time. So if you guys could do me a favor, go ahead and sit in the chapel when you come. I mean, it's a really nice environment to sit in. You see the screen, and it sounds great. So go ahead and do that. I asked all the students to do that as well, but I would love just to have a great number of Fusion students and their parents sitting in the chapel. I think that would send a great message, having junior high students leading the way in what some of the sacrificial serving that's going on at Cedar Creek. I think that would be a really cool thing. So just a favor to ask. Hopefully you'll do that. And the next thing is this Friday there is a concert at TCS, and it's This Beautiful Republic, and it kind of goes on the heels of a thing they call the Funorama, which is interesting. I never went to TCS, but it sounds really fun. So there's going to be a Funorama going on all day long, and then TBR, This Beautiful Republic, a local band that is really doing really well, is going to be playing. And the cost of those tickets are $6 in advance or $8 at the door. You can get them actually at TCS, at the development office. So if you want to go to that, that would be great. We gave away a lot of tickets to that show this weekend, and hopefully you'll get a chance to go to that this Friday. So just remember, Little Caesars pickup today, McDowell, West Virginia. Check your email for that PDF kind of flyer about that meeting next weekend. Patrick Henry Hughes, sit in the chapel, please. That would be huge. And then this Friday, TCS, This Beautiful Republic. So that's all. If you have any questions, email me, fusion@cedarcreek.tv.